Hello and welcome to Talking Tech and Trash with Gino and Toby, the podcast where we talk tech and trash. I'm Gino.
And I'm Toby.
And today we are talking about the new Apple TV Plus docu-series?
I guess.
I don't know, what are these things called?
Real actors. You'd think we'd look it up beforehand.
We would look it up, but we didn't. It is WeCrashed, which is not about a plane. That would be bad.
Oh my God. Or the internet.
Or the internet? Did the internet crash? Or the stock market? Ooh.
So, yeah, not a documentary
no, it's not
about
any of those things. It is about WeWork, which is a company that I've never heard of, except for I had a friend whose company had purchased a bunch of WeWork space for them or had rented a bunch of WeWork space. And then COVID happened, so they didn't end up needing it. But basically, from what I understand, and from what the docuseries has told us, WeWork rents out workspace for people to work in, like offices, but it's all hipstery.
So, yeah, from what I remember hearing about WeWork, and I thought it was a cool idea to, like, instead of, I don't know, doing independent work, you'd rent an office space and
there's like a swings.
Right, and like ping pong or pool, and like you get to meet a lot of people. And that idea in my 20s sounds awesome.
Yeah, I feel, okay, so, I mean, we can talk about the concept of WeWork first. Because like as teachers, we are not able to work in such locations. We have to work at a school. There's no choice.
We don't get to play ping pong.
We don't
or
get to
pool
play
in
ping
the middle
pong.
of the day.
There's certain things at a school
We can't drink beer
pong.
in the middle of the day.
Cannot drink beers at work, as far as I know. But so essentially, the founder of WeWork, who Jared Leto plays, Adam Newman. He is from Israel. He at some point was living on a kibbutz. Toby, did I pronounce that correctly? Kibbutz. Would you like to explain to the audience what a kibbutz is? Am I doing it too much?
Too much.
Okay, you show me how to say it.
Okay, my experience from Birthright, going to a kibbutz. It's like a communal living space where people live together, they grow their food together,
Commune,
yeah, but like without the culty vibe of it.
That's cool. So he lived on a kibbutz, and he was like an entrepreneur. He kept trying to start up these businesses.
Not on the kibbutz.
Not on the kibbutz. I mean, like, aside from the commune stuff, he left the commune, went to America with his sister. Tried to start a bunch of businesses.
Sorry, if you haven't watched it yet and you don't want to know it.
I mean, we're not talking about the show yet. We're just talking about
I don't know what spoilers
the business. The business according to the show, I guess. We didn't actually
do
look
any
up
research.
The business. Right. No, please research. I did Google WeCrashed in a tab.
Good.
That's how I remembered that Jared Leto plays Adam Newman.
And that's what I was just doing.
Professionals, guys. Professionals.
While my head was down.
Yes. Millie is also here.
Yeah, Millie watched it from her cat tree.
So he's going to CUNY Baruch, which I guess is a good business school. He's opening all these businesses. He makes like knee pads for babies and like all this other stuff that he's not really feeling it. So he can't get like a good business off the ground. And someone finally tells him like, hey, start a business that you're passionate about. So he's like, I like kibbutz.
His girl, the girl he ends up.
We're not talking about the show yet. I'm just talking about the company.
Oh.
Which I guess means I'm talking about the show.
Yes.
But whatever.
Okay, never mind.
And so he wants to start communal living spaces in America. That's a dumb idea. So then he's like, what about communal workspaces? And WeWork is born. Yada, yada, yada. So that's like the basic gist.
Yes.
So like ping pong tables, kombucha, whatever that is.
Kombucha.
What is that?
It's a drink with like bacteria in it.
I'm out. Tea,
it doesn't taste good.
Beer, no cubicles except for sometimes. I'm assuming you can, if you're like an individual contract worker, you can rent out that space. I'm guessing this is before COVID because if I'm an independent contract worker, I ain't leaving the house.
Right. I think this was before.
This
right?
is before. This is
not-
2008,
I don't think.
2012.
Right. So, like, we know this was before working at home was the cool thing
Yeah.
to do.
So I'm out. I'm not spending money. Like, the only community I would want at that point, if I can work at home, is my couch.
Yeah, but think about it beforehand. Like, again, like, it was pitched to be a place where people can find friends, love, and also be working, but having a good time. Like, think about the way he pitches it is like talking to these college students being like, the way that the show pitches it, who knows if this is exactly what Adam Newman did. But he pitches it to college students like, you guys are going to want this time back. Like, you're going to
all the
you're going to
partying and
spend
fun
the rest of your
times.
life searching for these years that you had. And honestly, thinking about that, I was like, he's not wrong. I like think back to when I was in college and I was like, man, I had like so many different groups of friends and I could just like bop around and see friends. Like my friend and I literally had, if you're listening, we literally had a competition while we'd walk to classes, like who could wave to more people.
Oh God. Okay.
So like, but like it felt
Real
nice
quick.
to know so many people.
So I was in college, and yes, I had a bunch of groups of friends, but I wasn't in a fraternity. But a lot of my friends were, and one particular friend, who shall not be named, he was in a fraternity, and he knew like everybody on campus, and would stop and talk to them. So it wasn't even like a wave. Like I would give people the wave, but like I'm clearly going this way. He would stop and talk to them. So it got to the point where if I was ever walking with him on campus, I'd be like, dude, I'm just going to meet you there.
Right, I got to go.
It's going to be a half hour before we get to this place.
Well, then it's uncomfortable because you're like, I don't know you.
But sometimes I would know that. I mean, like, again,
okay, and you
I
chit-chat.
like, Toby, I was like very popular on campus.
Of course.
Which is not as popular as he was.
I was going to say, also,
Yeah, so I'm like,
you
and I'm
definitely didn't
super
live there.
antisocial. So like, I'm not, my headphones are in, leave me
Right,
alone.
you're not doing that to
I'm
stop.
not doing that. So yeah, I was just going to meet him. Like, well, I'll meet you at the Taco Bell when we get there. So yes, but I mean, it makes sense. Like, what other time in your life are you going to be living in a place with people your age who like don't have quite a bit of free time, and there's not a lot of rules. It's pretty much college.
Right. It's pretty much
So
college.
I get it.
I get it. I totally get it. I don't. So like, I guess you want to like dive in to
Real quick, just about the company.
Oh, okay.
So he like has a lot of rentals. Like he basically gets office space, rental space, rents them out. Companies also can purchase this rental space. Like I said, I had a friend whose company had like rented some space for that. And I guess you basically pay a rental fee every month. Like if you're one of those contract workers.
He pays the
He
lease.
pays rent.
He pays rent, but he gets all these companies to pay his
Or
rent.
like, individual workers to pay. Right.
Yeah.
But most, where we are now in the documentary, or not, it's not a documentary, it's like a
docuseries because it has real actors in it.
He's losing money, like a ton of money every day, like millions of dollars a day.
We're
And
on
he just
episode
keeps
4.
like schmoozing his way into more funding. Now, Toby, we can talk about the show as a show.
Great.
Go ahead.
Okay. What do I want to talk about first?
Jared Leto.
No.
Okay.
I want to talk about all of the regular actor people among Jared Leto and Anne Hathaway because they are the only big names and the only other person I recognized. I feel like I've seen Miguel somewhere. That's the co-founder.
Played by Kyle Marvin.
Can you tell me what he's been in? Anything I'd know?
He looks like he's been in a middle school classroom because he looks like a middle school teacher.
Okay. Do you know it's not gonna be
Babysitter,
helpful?
Kicks,
No.
Hunter Gatherer.
Oh God,
not
never
a lot.
mind.
He's
Never
not been in
mind.
a lot. Kyle Marvin, a lot of independent films. So this is his first thing.
All right, maybe I haven't seen it.
Apple, I mean, they're only the wealthiest company on earth. They don't have the money to spend.
I know.
They got to save money somewhere. They spent all their money on
Production value.
yeah, they spent all their money on Tim Cook and his
Well,
I think I'm wearing a Tim Cook outfit. This is the outfit he wore
probably.
on the last Apple event. It's a lot of money.
Right. And I
So-
recognize, because if you guys have been listening like consistently, you know that I love recognizing where I've seen actors from before. And so Anne Hathaway's dad in this is from House. It's one of the senior doctors in House. So that was exciting to see. And I'm currently looking up Kyle Marvin And yeah, nope. Nothing. Never mind. I haven't seen him before.
So you only have 3 named actors in the show, which is Jared Leto, Anne Hathaway, and America Ferrara.
Oh, America Ferrara.
Yeah.
And then also, one of the board members is Dr. Green from ER, who's also in Inventing Anna. So I feel like he's making a comeback.
Oh my goodness.
I'm really
all
happy
these streaming
for him.
shows.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about Jared Leto because I dislike Jared Leto. Of all the actors, like I don't really care about actors that much. I've never seen Jared Leto in something that I liked.
Like Gino wasn't like, let's go see Morbius.
No, I don't want to see Morbius. I think it looks so stupid. I don't want. I just cannot stand Jared Leto.
See, I'm Matt Smith's in it.
Terrible. He was a terrible Joker. Meth head Joker is what people call him on the internet because he looks like a meth head.
Yikes.
He's the one that has damage tattooed on his forehead, so you know that he's damaged.
I don't
Horrible
remember.
Joker. What else have I seen him in? I don't like Not Taking Back Sunday. What band is he in?
30 Seconds to Mars.
Don't like 30 Seconds to Mars. They're just a worse Panic at the Disco, Taking Back Sunday. Boo.
I don't know if I've seen him in anything.
I haven't seen that movie. There's that movie where he's like the AIDS patient.
Dallas
Apparently he's like
Buyers
very
Club?
good in that. Yeah, apparently he's like very good in that. He's in American Psycho. I guess he's fine in that. He just was like a regular guy. He gets murdered.
I think all I've seen is
Spoiler
Suicide
alert.
Squad.
So bad in Suicide Squad. I'm so happy they got rid of that Joker. I wish they would have killed him on screen. None of that. Get out of here. Jared Leto is actually really good in this.
Right.
I really like him.
With that being said,
Yeah, he's really good in this. The character he plays, which again is not a character, it's a real guy. Mm-hmm. But the way Jared Leto plays him, the best way to describe it is basically like a mix between like a Steve Jobs and like a Tommy Wiseau from The Room.
yes,
That's what he's playing.
If you guys haven't seen The Room, you
is
should go
great.
see The Room because it's a cult classic.
It's so bad. The Room is considered one of the worst movies of all time, and it's so bad that it's really funny to watch and really good.
It's really funny.
And the guy, it's the same writer, director.
Yeah, somehow he
Everything.
roped people to be
Yeah.
in his production.
Tommy Wiseau, who is, by the way, he's been very weird about where he's from.
Right, you think
I think now, based on
his accent.
Jared Leto
Yeah.
and his accent, I think he's from Israel. But there's literally no one knows where he's from. So imagine you took Tommy Wiseau from The Room and gave him the ambition and business chops of a Steve Jobs, older Steve Jobs, and that's what you get. You get this guy.
Yeah.
And I keep forgetting it's Jared Leto.
I only remember it because he has such kind eyes that I love. I think I love Jared Leto's eyes, but he does such a good job. And I want to see him succeed, but he's such a weird dude. Again, don't know anything about the actual Adam Newman, but the way
I refuse to do research.
refuse. Also didn't take notes. Sorry, Sam.
We're so good at this.
We're so good at this. I think he's a weird guy, and him, and I guess we can talk about his relationship.
He looks a lot like Adam Newman.
He does. They did a really good job.
Yeah.
But his wife, so also crazy to me that he's Israeli, and he found a woman named Rivka.
Who's Israel? Right. I'm
Manhattan
assuming
is a Jewish
name.
Like my parents are going to name me Tova, which is
whoa.
What?
Her name's Rebecca. He calls her
Oh,
Rivka.
he calls her Rivka.
Yes. I guess Rivka
is a Hebrew name for Rebecca.
So just like you're Toby, but your Hebrew name would have been Tova.
Well, in a sense, so you know how in high school, you took Italian, so your name's still Gino.
Right. I had no different name.
Right.
What's Gino in Italian? Gino.
But when I went to Italian, they're like, you're Tina. And I said, okay.
Tina.
I don't even think Tina's an Italian name.
Yeah, because Italians don't name their babies who are
T
girls
names.
boy names. So
Well, also
there is no
what is it? Teresa? I guess I could have been.
Toby. No, there's no equivalent to Toby. It would be Toby with an I.
That was the best one I got. Was
Yeah.
Tina. So
I don't think your mom was thinking about your future Italian name in your Italian class.
I wish he had. But so that's why he calls her Rivka. Her name is Rebecca. That makes a
Yes.
lot more sense because I was like, what? How'd that happen?
Yeah, let's look up Rebecca Newman.
Okay, who is Gwyneth Paltrow's cousin, which
Yes,
is
they bring it up a lot.
repeated throughout. Well, because I think, and so Rebecca, what's interesting about the docuseries is that it's not only about Adam Newman, it's also about surrounding characters like his wife, which caught me by surprise when we were doing episodes about her. when her voice is like this, I'm Rebecca, and I'm a yoga teacher, and I just love being around the earth, and I'm manifesting things.
Oh my God. Okay. So can I tell you the best way to explain her character?
Do it.
If you dislike Anne Hathaway, she's playing what you think Anne Hathaway is like in your head.
Maybe.
Like if you really dislike Anne Hathaway, this is her playing the evil version of Anne Hathaway that you have in your brain.
Literally one of the things
Just a deep, pretentious voice.
Yes, and she says very pretentious things. Like, one of the things that gets her in trouble is she's like, she's forced to give a speech essentially, and she's like, women are essentially here to just manifest things for men.
their husband and work for their husbands.
Right. Something else she says.
And you can't say that stuff in front of millennials. That is not a thing you can say in front of us.
Which was funny because they brought up like, because this came out in 2012. So
the docuseries came out now, but the company was getting big in 2012.
And that's when millennials were like the most annoying thing to other generations.
Very annoying. But yeah, right. So now Gen Z is also annoying.
Right.
And whatever the kids are now are also annoying.
Super annoying.
But we were the original annoying ones to old people.
Right.
So old people didn't really know how to handle us.
Not a chance.
And you see that in this docuseries.
Yes, where like millennials like stand up for things that they believe in. They're like, we want to be heard too.
Yeah, we're so great. We're the best generation. But yeah, so like she didn't think she did anything wrong. She's just like, oh, I like helping my husband. I help my husband all the time. And millennials are like, boo, women's rights, anti-feminism. Yeah.
Something else that she says that I kind of agree with is that she's like, I think you're responsible for feeling negative emotions.
I buy that a little bit.
And I do too, because like also it's your mindset. Like that's a thing right now. Like if you are thinking negatively and you choose, like you're like sinking on this feeling, you can get out of it. You got to try. I mean, I know obviously mental health is different.
Yeah, I would say like you don't really have control over how you feel. You do have control over how you like treat other people when you're feeling upset.
Well, and then also and react to things.
Like again, as teachers, we really don't have a choice. We have to just like, no matter what's going on in our lives, we just kind of like just bottle it down.
Right. So
hey, everybody.
Right, and we're all
time for science.
Always on. It's great. It's super healthy.
Unlike the podcast where you could just see the anger in our eyes if we're mad about something beforehand.
No, Gino cuts those out.
Should we just get Millie a mic at this point?
I know, just a little tiny Millie mic.
Yeah, oh my God. Anyway, you know what I forgot to mention, Toby? Because again, we're so good at this podcast. We're
so good.
It's only 5 episodes so far. This is really only a review of the first 5 episodes.
Really? Oh, of this. I thought you meant we've only done 5.
No, oh my God. No, we're on 31.
Not 5, but like of the what we're watching together.
Oh, I actually don't know. Was Encanto was in our first what we're watching together.
It might be Encanto and Eternals.
So far, still the highest viewed YouTube video at 86.
Well, get in there, Batman.
Or everyone watch this.
Or everyone watch this one.
And every episode.
Yeah, everyone
always.
get Apple TV Plus specifically for WeCrashed, not Ted Lasso, not Mythic Quest, for WeCrashed.
Or you could just not get Apple TV Plus and just listen to our great recaps.
You could do that.
And over and
just
over again.
Super detailed.
On repeat on every device you own.
Thanks.
Get that algorithm going. But yeah, so Anne Hathaway is like super pretentious. She gets her own episode.
So far, yeah.
But like basically she starts out as like a yoga instructor that Adam meets and he's like obsessed with her and he just kind of like keeps pursuing her, helps her get like more respect at her yoga studio and more money, and then they start dating.
Right. And they seem
get married.
Yeah, to be a very good fit. They both seem like there's literally no marital issues until episode 4. Like they seem on the same page. Maybe with episode 3 where they're like
because he's getting super into his business.
Yes. Well, and also his business is struggling and he's not sharing this information with Rebecca. So like that's also tough. He's taking on a lot of this pressure by himself.
Well, by pressure we mean debt. He has a lot of money. Yeah. So, but again, startups do this all the time. It's not as weird as it looks. So basically, he's gotten a ton of investor money and he's spending it like crazy so that eventually you turn a profit. Almost every startup does this. Like, Tesla, I don't even know if Tesla's made a profit yet overall. I know they like just spend a crap ton of money from investors. Like a lot of startups do this. This is not like a new thing.
It's just like so what his issue is that he doesn't stop to make a profit.
And it's also that their business model doesn't really work with that because it's just like you're just renting out property. Whereas like, I don't know, I'm not a business person.
I guess you're not
like,
producing anything. So like he's renting out property and hiring staff.
Right. And like throwing parties and like throwing giant summer camp parties.
It's very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Exorbitant?
Something like that. I might feel like my word starts with an L, but I can't think of it. Guys, I have just
Ludicrous?
so many... No.
Speaking of Tesla?
Maybe that's not the word I'm looking up. But like very lavish. That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
I was like, I got it. I've been playing a lot of Wordle and Quirtle, you guys.
Yeah.
So.
And like he's pretty manipulative with the money too. Like there's that one time where the guy's looking to quit.
Oh, yeah.
And like he brings in like half naked waitresses and like.
Yeah, and offers him double salary.
Yeah, offers him double his salary, like boom. Yeah. So like very not responsible with all this investor money.
No. And so I'm wondering, I mean, again, we're only in episode 4. That's all that's come out. I'm wondering, like, because, okay, what is fun about the documentary is it starts off telling us what happens at the end.
Yes. You see, well, from what I understand, like modern times, like during
2019.
So you see like bad stuff is gonna happen. Like he's in the room with his board. He wakes up with like 3 like servants. Like he has one servant like open the blinds.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
One servant like brings him a bong with weed already ready to go. As soon as he wakes up, he can hit a bong.
Yeah, Gino noticed that.
I mean, there was a giant blue bong as soon as someone wakes up, and like it was like be our guest for weed. like Lumiere just showed up with the bong pre-lit, which would actually be a good job for Lumiere because he's a candle.
He's a candle. He's got it.
Right. So, like, we know something's going to happen bad.
Right, because it's like an emergency meeting. But we see it.
I heard about WeWork in 2020. Like, my friend told me his company it still exists.
It's still a thing. Well, they fire him. The board votes
gets rid of him?
to get rid of him.
Spoilers, Toby.
Literally the first episode.
I didn't want to look it up. Yeah, they did fire him. He like starts to cry.
Yeah, he gets really
You see
sad.
him cry, and like Anne Hathaway's like very silently supportive behind him. She's like, hold it in or whatever. Like,
yeah, she's like, are you done pouting?
Yeah.
Are you done
Never mind,
pouting?
not supportive.
No, not.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't do that in this voice.
Hang on, let me try again. Are you done pouting?
Yeah, that's it.
It's a grumpy voice.
I don't know. It's like, I mean, I think really what makes the show is Jared Leto's character. I don't know if it's because Jared Leto's such a good
character.
I know, but like I can't. It's hard to really. I feel like we're not selling this show very well. Which I mean is not our job to like sell you on shows, but
yeah,
it is a good show. I am enjoying watching it. We were kind of disappointed when we found out that not every episode was out yet.
Yeah, there weren't any more, and we were like, ugh, we want to keep finding out because I think what's also cool is the visual effects are also pretty good. Like
visual effects is computer generated. I don't think there is a lot of visual effects.
No, but I like when he'd be in like the warehouse, whatever, the unfinished room, and they'd like show it in the side. They'd be like, oh, we're here. You know, that was a big deal for me.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of like cool stuff where
and like transitions are really cool.
Yeah, you're right. I just
You just blocked
what is
it out.
that?
One scene was like you thought was really cool.
Well, I just mansplained to you though. I thought you didn't know what visual effects were, and I'm like, no, Toby, those aren't visual effects.
I didn't catch up.
Meanwhile, you were right. They were
was
visual
correct.
effects.
Thank you.
Or we're both wrong.
Ding for me.
Toby wins, everybody.
Toby wins.
Yes, so there is some cool stuff where he's walking around the abandoned warehouse, and they show like
and they show everything. Well, and then you also liked in the beginning so his co-founder is a guy that was in the class that he was pitching to.
This poor guy,
Miguel,
regular dude,
just super regular dude, right? The actor is like also starting out
architect.
Yeah, and so he's going to design the space. And essentially, they go pitch the idea to the landlord of the space that they wanted, and Jared Leto's character is like, "You're going to do everything. I'm just the salesman."
Which is like again, that's essentially Steve Jobs. I mean, like, that's what Steve Jobs has always done. That's why I keep saying he's Tommy Wiseau plus Steve Jobs.
So
Steve Jobs never made anything. He was just like the guy who would
have the ideas, the idea man.
Not even. He was the guy who would just kind of direct the people who are good at their jobs.
All right.
So he's good at business.
That
But
makes
he doesn't actually
sense.
like make anything.
Yeah, that's kind of like this guy. But what I was getting at was there is a cool scene where like, or I guess a montage. They do like a montage of the guy, like Miguel is like working, going through this plan. He's got to write a 17-page deck, which is a business plan.
In one night.
In one night, Jared Leto's sleeping.
Right. Yeah.
And so then the scene is like this. You think they built the set that way?
I think, yeah. So I can't tell whether or not they're cutting back and forth between two sets because they really did a good job making it look like, and probably because it might be built this way, that the set is one half of the set is Jared Leto's bedroom, and the other half of the set is
the
architect's office, and then they put like a big thick black line in the middle of the frame. And then they're really just acting next to each other.
Which is pretty cool. And like we both used to do stage acting.
Theater.
I don't know if you know this, but
Can you tell?
we're pretty great actors.
Yes. Like we can ignore the cat this whole time.
I can't.
This is my theater voice.
Mine too.
This is my Anne Hathaway theater voice.
This is, yeah. Oh,
you know Anne Hathaway did this freaking voice.
speaking of Anne
When she did
Hathaway's theater voice.
Yes.
So one of the things that also happened, which was ridiculous. So Anne Hathaway was a yoga.
Oh, wait. We got to we're moving on before you finish the thought. The scene. I know exactly what we're talking about.
I know you will.
I don't talk about it too. But we're moving on before you finish talking about the Jared
Visual?
Leto. Yeah,
I thought we didn't finish it.
Are we done with talking about that?
Just like cool shots.
Yeah,
also,
it's well shot.
it's in New York, so like that's also we live in
everything.
New York, so like that's also like cool to see.
Everything's in New York. So yeah, it does look great. But yes. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Toby.
Okay, so like right, we get to also learn about Anne Hathaway. So she was a yoga instructor. She's like, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm not feeling home there. I want to go back to acting.
It's because she caught her yoga master guy eating Campbell's Chunky Soup.
Yes.
And she was very upset being even around the death of meat. She's like the worst vegan.
Yes. So it's a lifestyle.
I'm like, I wanted the laugh track to turn on when she said that because she literally says at one point, "I'm very vegan. It's a lifestyle, not a what." She's like, "It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle."
Something like that.
And I was waiting for like the laugh track.
Yeah, to go
off.
So she goes back to acting. She gets like a bit part in like a Law and Order type show.
Dead.
Where your favorite person.
Oh my God, the most offensive comedian on earth, Joey Diaz, world famous for Spider-Man 2.
Famous.
When Doc Ock comes in and tries to attack Peter in the subway car, and Joey Diaz is like, "You want to get to him, you got to get to me." That's my best Joey Diaz impression. So Joey Diaz is in this. He has like one line.
Worth it.
Very not PC comedian. So I'm surprised that Tim Apple opened up the checkbook for our good friend Uncle Joey.
Yeah. Well, so Anne Hathaway's in there. She's a dead character. She goes over to the director and is like, "Hey, like I'd love to do something else." And eventually they start talking about like stage.
Well,
theater?
because her husband, when he's just starting out WeWork, he rents multiple floors in an office building. So they're going to use one of those floors to make like a little independent theater.
Right, but I was just wondering about when she starts talking to the director about that because I guess I didn't pay attention. Because the next scene with them is like the director.
Your sister's like, "Write notes, Toby."
You
Write
know she
notes.
is. I'm trying to think of how
Listen,
she would
Sammy,
say it.
comment on all of our videos.
Yeah, say write notes and maybe.
My cousin does it.
Yeah.
Some from Toby's family got to do it too.
Yeah. Hello. So the next scene, they're there. She gets cast in a show, obviously. Well, she like says
She sets the show up with the director.
With the director,
Yeah.
and so she's like, "I've always wanted to be this character."
It's
and
like
the
some
director's
Russian-
like, "It's called Three Sisters it's by Chekhov." I don't know.
I'm not looking it up.
Me either. I mean, like we did theater, but like no, we didn't major in theater.
People are always surprised when I tell them I did theater, that I don't really like theater. Like, I like being in
like
shows.
theater.
I like theater as much as any person likes theater.
That's not true.
I guess I like it slightly more than normal people like theater.
There you go.
But when like people who are really into theater are like,
Yeah.
"Don't you know this actor and director?" I'm like, "Who?" Like,
Oh yeah,
I've seen like only the inappropriate shows, like
Avenue Q.
Avenue Q, which is
Book
my
of
favorite.
Mormon.
Book of Mormon, which is my favorite. I guess that's it.
Do you know I was supposed to see
We saw
Chicago?
Anastasia.
We did see Anastasia because I
I
wanted
was
to
supposed to
see
see Chicago. I was sick. Didn't
it.
go.
Didn't go. He did pass out.
I did almost pass out.
Almost passed out. Dropped to his knees when we went to go see Book of Mormon.
Yep, but I watched it because it's great. That was the second time we saw Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
We saw Anastasia.
We saw Anastasia.
SpongeBob the Musical, which was like surprisingly good. We got free tickets to that. It was surprisingly good.
Yeah, thanks, number one fan's wife.
Yes, number one fans. I mean, they give us so much stuff.
I
they
know.
got,
You
access
guys,
to the PS5.
We should give you more things, you guys.
Anastasia.
maybe next time they come over, I'll actually pay
We'll bring
for
them
the
for a
food.
barbecue and get the grill. Unless they buy us the grill, who knows?
Right?
I don't know, they give us.
Right? What I mean, like, who knows, you guys?
Who knows?
So she does the play, right? She's been practicing. She runs her lines. She gets to the night of. There's supposed to be agents there, and she
this was sad.
pulls out a Russian accent.
Yeah, so everyone has been doing an American accent, and all the other actors doing an American accent. They show her practicing with an American accent, and then she all of a sudden busts out this
just goes
horrible,
into
goofy,
Russian accent.
And again, this is Gwyneth Paltrow's cousin. So like there is acting in the family.
Yes.
This is right around Iron Man. So this is when Gwyneth Paltrow was really
Which
like,
is really Gino's like
how I measure things.
I was gonna say, yeah. I feel like that's how you measure a lot of things.
There's instead of AD and BC,
Yes.
it's AIR and no BIR.
BIM. How are you?
IR. Really should be BIM
Yeah.
before Iron Man.
Yeah.
But if I want to be really cool, it would be like BFE, because that's what iron is on the periodic table. Please don't divorce me.
I was gonna say we're stopping this. We're cutting this here.
But yes, so it's just so funny. I mean, like, not that Gwyneth Paltrow is not like the greatest actress on the earth.
No.
But-
Give me Shallow Hal all day, but like I think that.
Yeah.
So that was just like very cringy.
Oh, it's great. So obviously bad. She was bad.
Anything? What else do you want to talk about?
I mean, we it's a thing. We only have the 5 episodes. I can just say, it's just like, yes, you want to see more of this crazy guy. We want to know like what happened. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season. I will almost certainly probably do the second half of the season review if there's enough meat there.
Yeah, for sure. There's probably. I mean, like we also again no research. Don't know how many episodes there are.
Nope, not looking it up. Which again, we're so good at this. But yeah, I thought it was really good. Like it's like a good thing to watch. You know, you're paying that $5 a month for Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, you might as well just click it on. It's good. It's good production value. It's not crap. It's not a documentary.
Interesting characters. We've
Yeah.
only seen America Ferrara for 1 episode right now. She's
Yes, but she's
another
lovely.
business lady.
Yes, I hear Superstore is great.
She's like, is that what she runs?
No,
She runs like a juice company, I thought.
she's in the show Superstore.
Oh, what is that? A network show? Yeah, and watching that.
it is a network show.
Streaming
actually.
shows only here.
It's kind of true.
Oh, you know what we have to eventually, what we'll probably review for the next episode?
What?
The Taika Waititi show on HBO Max.
I don't know if we're
The
gonna make
pirate
that in
show.
2 weeks, but
There's only 6 episodes.
Okay.
There's 10 episodes.
yeah,
Whatever.
But
We'll
we do really love Taika Waititi.
I know.
We're pro Taika Waititi in this
But
house.
yeah, I think the most shocking thing I can say is that this is the only thing I've seen Jared Leto in where I haven't hated him. So good on you, Jared Leto.
Yes, and I am also so as much hatred as Gino has for Jared Leto, I have for Anne Hathaway. So I actually enjoy her, and I find her very pretty in this. And
Yeah,
I'm a big
everyone looks
fan of her
great.
hairstyle. So I don't hate seeing her in this. So I mean, like, plus perks for casting and acting.
Yeah. Well, it looks great. And, you know, if you have HDR, and again, Apple TV shows always look great. So I don't know what like cameras they're using.
Yeah.
They all look great.
Oh, maybe we should do a poll for what we should do next.
You have to put that up.
I will put that up. I will put that up.
We should do, one of the options should be Taika Waititi Pirate Show.
Yeah.
More of this show.
Not yet. No.
Or nothing. And we'll just sit here and stare.
Nothing?
We'll
And just
stare
do
at
the Taika
computer.
Waititi one?
No, we'll just stare at the screen.
I was thinking like maybe because we did watch Red Anger.
Turning Red?
Turning Red.
I mean, if we were going to be following YouTube trends right now, we would definitely would have talked about Turning Red instead of this show that 3 people are watching.
You think we'd care about views
But
and algorithms.
You fell asleep through Turning
I
Red.
did fall asleep during it.
So we cannot yet review Turning Red. Toby has to rewatch it. But if you want it real quick, I like Turning Red. I thought it's a great coming-of-age story for girls. We don't usually get coming-of-age stories for girls. It's mostly for boys.
Hello. Inside Out was about a girl.
We don't. Okay, that's another Pixar movie. So
Great
only
movie.
one company that I know of is doing growing up stuff. But yeah, so if that's what we get to, we'll talk about it. We'll be like,
And then
3
maybe
weeks
a
behind.
third choice.
And then maybe
You
a third
guys get to
choice.
pick.
It'll be nothing.
It'll say DM us,
Yeah. So the only people who will vote on it will be my cousin.
your cousin, my sister,
Yeah, and that'll be it. So
and
it'll
our
be-
fans.
Yeah,
Our 3
all
fans.
of our fans. Our number one fan
Our number 1 fan, his wife.
and his wife.
And then the other person that comments on my things. I hope you know that we're talking about you if you're listening.
Yes.
Okay, everybody. Thanks for listening. If you want to know more, please visit our website at
TalkingTechAndTrash.buzzsprout.com.
Gino's way better at memorizing than I am. Like our podcasts on
Follow our podcast.
on any of the podcasting apps that you have, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave a review, 5-star review.
Yeah.
On the app, watch us on YouTube.
Like and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notified whenever stuff comes up.
So fun. And DM us, Talking Tech and Trash. We'd love to hear from you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.